Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation of Algorithms by Panos Louridas, a part of the MIT Press Essential Knowledge series. On the first page of the book, Louridas presents us with a quote from Christopher Lydon, former New York Times journalist and host of the radio open source show. It reads, "Behold the almighty algorithm, a snippet of computer code coming to stand for a higher authority in our secular age, a sort of God." A quote that really sets the stage for all of the concepts that the reader is going to be learning about within the book. The main arguments or concepts that the book discusses are what is an algorithm, graphs, searching, sorting, PageRank, and deep learning. Louridas dedicates a chapter to each of these, providing the reader with a thorough explanation as to what each of these entails, as well as a set of examples to help them further understand the concept and its application. So, what is an algorithm? You could be tempted to think that algorithms are something that we do with computers, but this would be wrong. It is wrong because we had algorithms long before we had computers. A statement that I felt really encompassed one of the main messages that Louridas was trying to convey through this book. He defines algorithms as tools that allow us to do certain things well. They are specific kinds of tools whose purpose is to allow us to solve problems. Louridas discusses how algorithms have taken a form of higher authority in society because of the ways in which they control various aspects of daily life. Many people do not understand them or how they work, and they are oftentimes not held accountable for the decisions that they make, even though those decisions affect many people on a daily basis. Algorithms always follow rules, unlike people, because that is what they were designed to do. Follow a set of steps in order to solve a problem. Algorithms are also not just used for computers, they are also used for calculators, music, mathematics, and a variety of other ways throughout society. Graphs. Graphs are used as representations of different things. They are made up of nodes and edges, and one of the examples that we're given in the book is the World Wide Web. Louridas states that the World Wide Web is an example of a huge directed graph. We can represent the web with nodes standing in for web pages and edges standing in for the hyperlinks between each pair of pages. Another example that the book gives us about ways that graphs are very commonly used in society is maps. It's something that many people may not think about, but the different points on a map can be represented by nodes, and the paths with which you take from the starting point to your destination would be the edges. In this chapter, Louridas discusses greedy algorithms, which are essentially algorithms that select the best action at every step, which may not always be the best course of action for the overall problem that one is trying to solve. His discussion, in a way, highlights the importance of considering everything within the context of a problem that you are trying to find a solution to. A statement from the chapter that really stood out to me was when he said, "When we try to find an algorithm to solve our problem, we should check that our problem meets the requirements of the algorithm. Otherwise, it will not work. But an algorithm cannot tell us that it does not work." Many people try to use certain algorithms to solve problems that they were not designed to solve. Algorithms have a set of instructions that they follow, which means that if a problem does not adhere to the steps that the algorithm takes, the algorithm will not be able to solve it. Next is searching. Searching in one form or another appears in almost every context. A good search algorithm can result in dramatic improvements in speed. Algorithms can do many things, but they are mainly used for searching. They're essentially meant to improve the speed of the search process and optimize it. The importance of search speed goes up with the amount of data. As we know, searching can be very time-consuming, which is part of the reason why algorithms hold so much value in our society, because of the amount of time and work that they are able to save us. Something that we often see with search algorithms specifically is that results that are seen as useful usually become easier to find. During his discussions of how we as people search for things, he says this suggests a general searching strategy, where we search for the same items repeatedly and some items are more popular than others. After finding an item, bring it forward so that we'll be able to find it faster the next time we will look for it. This general searching strategy can be seen in search engines and the results that they present when we enter queries. Next is sorting. Although all of them have the same objective, particular screws require particular drivers. The same with sorting. While all sorting algorithms put things in order, each is more suitable for particular uses. In this chapter, Louridas compares what sorting used to be to what it is now. He provides the reader with the example of having filing cabinets in an office as a way of sorting, then talking about how today we digitally sort a lot of things with the ability to sort them by criteria such as delivery date, chronologically, or sender's name alphabetically. He then discusses the popularity of sorting algorithms with programmers due to how fundamental sorting is when it comes to computers. This is because computers and their programs contain a lot of data, and so if programmers use algorithms, it saves them a lot of time and work. He also made it a point to discuss randomized algorithms, saying that randomized algorithms have blossomed in recent years, as it has turned out that chance can help us solve problems that remain intractable to more standard approaches. Next is PageRank, the algorithm that Google was based off of. A quote from this chapter that particularly stood out to me was when Louridas stated that the whole system acts as a kind of democracy. Authors of web pages link their pages to other pages. The more links that a web page accrues, the more important it becomes overall. A quote from this chapter in Louridas' discussion of PageRank that particularly stood out to me was when he says that the whole system acts as a kind of democracy. Authors of web pages link their pages to other pages. The more links that a web page accrues, the more important it becomes overall. PageRank is an algorithm that was created by the founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Although PageRank was the basis for the Google search engine, it is not known whether or not it is still used by Google today. In this chapter, Louridas discusses PageRank and search engines in general, detailing what it is that search engines do once a search term is entered. In this chapter, Louridas discusses PageRank as an algorithm as well as search engines in general and how it is that they find information. When a search term is entered into a search engine, the search engine then reads and indexes web pages to find the search term, and then it presents results so that the ones that are closest to what is being searched for are shown first. The web is made up of web pages that link to each other. These are called hyperlinks. Earlier in the presentation, when I was discussing graphs, I mentioned how Louridas said that the World Wide Web was an example of a huge directed graph, with the web pages being the nodes and the hyperlinks being the edges that connect them to each other. He discusses how the authors of articles will often link authoritative web pages that they trust to their articles, and how not all articles are written equal. This is because many articles receive a significantly larger amount of attention because they are either published on prestigious websites, or they are endorsed by prominent authors, or they are just endorsed by a lot of other pages. These three can make it so an article will probably be one of the first results that are shown for the search queries that pertain to its subject. The last chapter of the book is called Deep Learning. A statement from this chapter that I found to be very important was when, in his discussion of deep learning, Louridas said, "We mean an architecture whereby successive levels represent deeper concepts, corresponding to higher levels of abstraction." This is in reference to the way that building abstractions on abstractions is a key part of deep learning. So, what is deep learning? Deep learning is essentially an artificial intelligence method that is inspired by biological processes. It employs algorithms, and it is how computers are trained to find solutions. This is done in two ways: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, computers are essentially given solved example problems where they are able to see how the solution was found. In unsupervised learning, the computer is provided with the training set data, but is not provided with the solution to the example problems, so it has to try and figure it out itself. Supervised learning is the most common form of machine learning, and it is also the more powerful one of the two. Building abstractions on abstractions is a key part of deep learning. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, it means recognizing representational qualities or ideas and using that to help identify patterns. This is something that both humans and artificial intelligence do. This book came out in 2020, so it was only recently published. However, it seems like it has been very well received based on the ratings and reviews. I was able to find about 200 ratings for the book and 7 written reviews. In this presentation, I will include a review from Amazon and a review from a website called iProgrammer. This is the Amazon review. Feel free to pause if you would like to read through it. This is the iProgrammer review. Feel free to pause if you would like to read through this one too. Now for the discussion questions. What are some examples of algorithmic decision making that you can identify from your daily life? Reflecting on the way in which algorithms influence the search process, do you think that algorithms have contributed to your epistemological biases? Why or why not? Do you think that there is a way to hold algorithms accountable for the effects that their decision making has on people? If so, how? Here is my bibliography for this presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.